Andrew Holness actually reversing NEPA's ruling not to mine. This is what on a nice clean prime minister want to do. This isn't what on a nice clean prime minister I do to Jamaica. How him get re-elected with all of the scandals and the corruption and the thieving of people's money, especially taxpayers' money, I have no clue. But you guys would know better than I. It was not for money why the government overruled the local environment watchdog in permitting mining in the ecological sensitive Puerto Bueno mountain in St. Anne, the tourism-dependent parish on Jamaica's northern coast. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has charged. However, Holness promised that he will shut down the project if there are breaches is hardly convincing for residents and advocates who have expressed disappointment that the head of the government is sticking to his decision. Also bubbling is the ground calling for the release of information on the decision-making process with the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA CEO Peter Knight now saying that the decision to publish documents beyond constraints imposed on mining is up to the Holness Head Ministry of Education, Growth and Job Creation. One out was for more careful and comprehensive consideration of the environment benefits and the economic development benefits, Holness told the Gleaner on Thursday after he launched his first public pushback against lobbyists who opposed the environment permit to Bengal Development Limited. But interest groups, some of whose views the Prime Minister has discarded as rubbish, are not giving up on attacking the decision and are planning new strategies to register their displeasure. It was an enlightened response to the need for economic growth while ensuring sustainable development, especially in a pandemic that has hemorrhaged tens of thousands of jobs and billions in revenues, Holness argued in St. Anne's Bay, where he had gone to open the $538 million parish office for Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Bengal has projected $635 million in taxes for the government and up to 100 jobs from the quarrying and mining that will be done on the 123 acres of the 569-acre property whose owners include Don Blake. Those prospective benefits and the massive plans for the rest of the property, ecotourism, residential and commercial investment, may have been crucial to the Holness decision to overturn May ruling of NEPA. NEPA had believed that the Bengals project threatened the endangered and endemic species that inhabit one of the few remaining dry limestone forests in the Caribbean. Let me say that again. NEPA had believed that Bengal's project threatened the endangered and endemic species that inhabit one of few remaining dry limestone forests in the Caribbean. But acting with the backing of the law, Holness reversed the decision, noted on Thursday that central question is not that we should not disturb the environment, it is how do you build, and you have to build with sustainability in mind. A strategy of protecting the environment is ensuring that people have livelihoods. What is a livelihood when the environment you're working in is up, okay, and your house is sliding away and being messed up because of flooding? What is a livelihood then? Or maybe me don't. What's that going to do? What's that going to do if half of Jamaica sink in the water because you guys are mining and building big highways and the water them have no way of actually escaping the island anymore? What's gonna happen then? Anyways, Holness said, noting the land in question is in need of upgrades, citing the occurrence of illegal mine dumping. The truth is, if it's done properly, we would then have proper ownership of the land, put proper system in place, and the environment would benefit from that, so he says. And Holness added the public narrative as if to suggest that the government is just going out to destroy assets without any form of consideration. That is not true. I rubbish that. The same way your wife other day go up the people them place, go dig up the banking of the river. The river didn't have any bank anymore to hold the water in, and the river flood out the people them house. I hope you and your wife will fix the people in place, because that was your wife caused that, and your wife do that. The government is banking on the 72 conditions NEPA has applied to Bengal, the cost of which Holness said would be borne by Bengal. I'm the first one to shut it down, the Prime Minister threatened, should Bengal violate any of the conditions. The company has been asked several questions, but in the statement late Thursday evening, Kashif Sweet, Bengal's managing partner, said public communication has been paused until further notice. The company's initial statement on Tuesday, in which it downplayed some of the concerns and disclosed mitigating actions, came from C.L Environmental, the same entity that did the environmental impact assessment on Bengal's behalf. Criticism that the government was prioritizing economic and private interests to the detriment of the environment have been upsetting, Holness admitted. It hurts me deeply when people say that every single development has its main objective of how to protect, preserve, and promote the environment, Holness said. Chairman of the Queen's Highway Citizens Association in St. Anne, Tony Holmes, has described Holness' decision as absolutely unbelievable, leaving residents disappointed and devastated. None of us can believe that NEPA decisions have been overruled. Claimed that the residents were kept in the dark and knew nothing of an appeal against NEPA refusal to grant permits until he saw an email from the agency's CEO. We were still very happy with the refusal from NEPA, which was issued on May 8th. Then, lo and behold, without any consolation, we found out that the whole thing is gonna go ahead. We're quite devastated. Meanwhile, Wendy Lee, former executive director of the now defunct North Jamaica Conservative Association, echoed Holmes' point that residents have been left out the process. It's just complete contempt. None of the stakeholders were notified. We suddenly heard it was refused, and yes, we were all happy. Same thing come now, this letter came out of the blue on Thursday that the people had successfully appealed. We weren't notified of an appeal, and we weren't notified of an appeal process. Nobody knows how this happened, Lee said. Hugh Dixon from the neighboring Trelawney Parish, one of the most vocal advocates on preserving the ecological treasure that is the cockpit country, said mining would jeopardize the long-term economic and environmental development of Jamaica. We're looking at an opportunity whose cause losing valuable assets for short-term financial gain, he warned. Several issues remain unclear, and we are clarified by the Prime Minister, including full cost of the project, the total financial benefits, as well as whether monitoring will be covered by Bengal. Sections of the land were mined during the construction of the North Coast Highway between 2001 and 2008, and the Jamaican Environmental Trust, residents of Rio Bueno, the opposition People's National Party, have demanded that Holness reserve the decision, and this decision to actually mine in cockpit country needs to definitely be reversed or put on pause. I feel like the whole flooding that happened recently in Jamaica didn't teach Mr. Andrew Holness anything. And I feel like a lot of these people go to school and them go to school and them claim them bright, but them really don't. Don't you see the effects that all these big infrastructures is having on the little island? How people have to get flooded left, right, and center. People have to swim out of them house, okay, because of these highways, these big highways. It's all nice and great. Love to see your country being developed, but if it's going to cost people their lives and their livelihood, then what is the sense? What is the sense in creating these big highways and then people lose everything in the process? What is the sense? Cause maybe me don't, maybe me not understand. Like me not get it. Anyways, I feel like people need to actually go out there, protest, and make sure they don't mind that he reversed this ruling by NEPA, and there was a whole appeal process that nobody knew about until now is crazy. And this shows you that our government is not transparent and they're always up to some BS. And when them hand they get grease underneath the covers, they will do anything. Okay, the only people that benefit from this right here is the stakeholders, the people that are mining, and the government. The people of Jamaica and the people of St. Anna benefit from this at all. Okay, the 100 jobs where they're going to give out is not going to do anything much for the people that are going to be living in St. Anne. When them give them job there, and then if the environment and the place that they live, what's gonna happen then? That money they can't go solve that. That money they can't go solve that. Then the problem there. But anyways, comment what your thoughts are in the comment section. What do you think about Andrew Holness actually reversing NEPA's ruling not to mine? What do you think about this whole appeal process that was done to appeal NEPA's decision that nobody know about except Andrew and the people in Bengal? What are your thoughts on the 100 jobs that they claim they're going to provide St. Anne residents? Who do you think is going to benefit from this mining, and what do you think is going to happen to our environment based on everything that you have seen from the little bit of rain that we got recently? So comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I don't know where Bruce get him from, but Bruce needs to come take him because you know, but Jamaica beyond repair. Okay, and I don't know how I get re-elected, but Jesus.